So, let me guess, you've seen someone swirl their glass, sniff it like it's perfume, and then announce something ridiculous like hints of whetstone and unicorn tears, right? And you thought, wow, I'll never get this. Well, they're probably faking it. Today, I'll show you how to actually taste wine like a pro, step by step, without pretentious nonsense. Hi, I'm Anya Garibaldi, a professional sommelier, educator, and Diploma W SAT candidate. Basically, my job is to drink wine, but in a structured way. I'll teach you the same method developed by Wine and Spirit Education Trust approach. It's an international standard for tasting, which breaks wine down step by step. How it looks, what it smells like, how it tastes, and how all that comes together. It's 4-step: appearance, nose, palate, and conclusion. Think of it like online dating. First, you check their profile pic. That's appearance. Then you stalk their Instagram. That's the nose. Then you go on the date. That's the palate. And finally, you decide if you are seeing them again. That's the conclusion. Easy. Let's start with appearance. First thing, clarity. Is your wine clear or cloudy? If it looks hazy, don't panic. Sometimes it's just unfiltered. Sometimes it's a fault. Hold your glass over a white surface in a natural light. Don't hold the glass directly against the window. That can distort the color. If the wine looks misty or milky, that means it has haze. That could mean funky natural wine, or it could mean trouble. Second, intensity. Basically how deep the color is. Pale wines are like shy introverts, light and transparent. Deep wines are like divas, dark, intense, screaming, "Look at me." Tilt your glass and look from the rim inward. If you can read a book through your Pinot Noir, it's pale. If your Cabernet looks like black ink, that's deep. And of course, there's also medium color, somewhere in between. The depth often reflects the grape variety and the climate. Cooler regions tend to produce paler wines, while warmer climates usually give deeper, darker colors. Then we check the actual color. For whites, lemon green means fresh and young. The most common shade you'll see is just lemon. Gold usually points to oak, age, or both, or simply can be a natural trait of certain grape varieties like Gewürztraminer. Amber, that's oxidation or serious age. For reds, purple means young and juicy. Ruby is classic red. Garnet means some age. Look, that orange rim. Tawny means very aged. Brown, either very old legend or a very sad bottle. And finally, other stuff. Legs, bubbles, sediment. Let me break the myth. Wine legs don't tell you if the wine is good. They tell you about alcohol and sugar. Thick, slow legs usually means higher alcohol or sweetness. Thin, quick legs, lighter wine. Don't flirt with your glass. It won't tell you quality. Sediment, totally normal in older reds or in unfiltered wines. In whites, tartrate crystals can appear, sometimes called wine diamonds. Technically, it's considered to be a fault, but an acceptable one. They usually form when a bottle has gone through thermal shock, which often happens during transportation. Now let's get to the nose. This is my favorite part because it makes you look dramatic. Step 1, condition. Is the wine clean? If it smells like fresh fruit, flowers, spices, great. If it smells like wet cardboard, corked, rotten eggs, reduction, or sherry when it shouldn't, that's a fault. Next, intensity. Stick your nose in the glass. If you have to practically inhale it to smell anything, that's light. If the aromas come into you at the chin level, that's pronounced. Some wines are shy, some wines are loud. Neither is better, but you need to notice it. Now the fun part, aromas. WSAT splits them into 3 categories. Primary aromas, that's the grape itself, fruit, flowers, herbs, spice, minerality. Secondary, that's winemaking. Oak gives you vanilla, toast, cloves. Leaves aging gives you brioche, bread. Malolactic gives you butter or cream. Tertiary aromas come with age, but they differ for whites and reds. Whites can develop notes of petrol, cinnamon, hay, honey, or hazelnut. Reds tend to show leather, forest floor, mushroom, game, tobacco, even a touch of farmyard. Let's take an example. German Pinot Noir, also called Spätburgunder in German. On the nose it's clean. The intensity is medium to medium plus. Aromas, red fruit like strawberry, cherry, raspberry. And add some rose petals, maybe violet. Sometimes a little herbal age like thyme. If it's been an oak, you might pick up vanilla or clove. If it's older, you'll get mushroom, forest floor, autumn leaves. Yes, wine can smell like earth, and yes, that's a compliment. Now the palate. This is the part everyone pretends to know. First, sweetness. While most wines you'll come across are in the dry category, there are also sweet styles. Within the dry spectrum, some can be bone dry, while others can lead toward off-dry or even medium dry. If you feel sweetness, it could be actual sugar or just very ripe fruit. It feels like sugar, but in reality, there is none. Don't confuse the two. Second, acidity. Here's the trick. Take a sip, spit it out, or swallow, whatever you feel more comfortable with. If your saliva floats like Niagara Falls, the acidity is high. If your mouth stays dry, it's low. Acid keeps wines fresh and gives structure like lemon juice. Third, tannins. Only in reds, rosé, and orange wines. That's the dry and grippy feeling. Low tannin feels soft. High tannin feels like sandpaper in your mouth. They come from both, from the grape and from the maturation in oak. And the nature of tannin matters too. Ripe and silky is pleasant, while harsh and green is not. Alcohol, that's the warmth you feel in your throat and chest. Low alcohol feels light. High alcohol feels like you swallowed fire. Body is the weight of the wine in your mouth. Think skimmed milk versus cream. Light body is delicate. Full body is rich and heavy. Flavor intensity and flavor characteristics. Do the flavors match the aromas you smelled? Sometimes yes, sometimes the palate gives you surprises. Note what's primary, secondary, and tertiary, just like on the nose. And then finish. How long do the flavors stay after you swallow? If the fruit lingers, that's a good sign. If it disappears quickly and you are left with acidity, that's short finish. A long finish usually points to higher quality. Finally, conclusion. This is the verdict. Was the wine faulty, acceptable, good, very good, or even outstanding? We use the BLIC method: balance, length, intensity, complexity. Without going into detail, here's how it works. If each of the factors, balance, length, intensity, and complexity, is at its best, then the wine will be judged as outstanding. If something is slightly off, but the other three factors are great, for example, a little lack of complexity, then it will be judged as very good. If 2 points are clearly off, for example, not enough length or some imbalance, it's good. If all 4 factors show problems, for example, lack of balance, lack of length, weak intensity, and no complexity, then it's acceptable quality. And of course, if there is a fault, like TCA for example, the wine is faulty and we won't even judge it. Does everything feel in harmony? How long does it last? How strong are the aromas and flavors? How many layers of aromas and flavors do you get? Add it up and you'll know it's just okay or world class. For example, the German Pinot Noir. It's balanced, has a medium plus finish, medium intensity and nice complexity with fruit, floral, herbal, and a touch of oak. That makes it good, not very good. Outstanding German Pinot is rare. It's delicate, so it doesn't always hit the world top concentration, but it's elegant, charming, and can age for a few years. So there's how you do it. How to taste wine like a pro without the BS. Appearance, nose, palate, conclusion, structure, but with fun. Next time someone swirls their glass and says nonsense like hits of summer rain on the Tuscan rooftop, just smile and know you can actually break it down like a professional. Now tell me, what's the weirdest thing you've ever smelled in a wine glass? Drop it in the comments. Mine was wet hamster cage. Don't ask. Cheers, and remember, the only bad wine is the empty glass.